Alright, so we are going to jump right in today. We're going to go back to some patterns. I'm just going to start with their standard boxes like we always do. I went to the farmer's market this past weekend, or this past week, was inspired by that. So we're going to do some very random patterns today. If I can get my pen to work here. Alright, so we're just going to draw kind of some wonky shapes. I'm going to start in the corner. You can start wherever you wish. And we are going to draw some pickle slices or cucumber slices, because there's basically all you see around the farmer's market right now is all the pickling items. So you kind of draw an outline, or the outline of it, and then you're going to kind of double up that outside line and then draw 3 little kind of peace sign teardrop shapes in the middle. And you're just going to keep repeating that section, or excuse me, that design all the way across the section. They shouldn't touch each other. You can make them as large as you'd like. You can make huge slices if you want it. Just do a couple. You can make them really tiny. You can interchange some actual pickles, like little baby gherkins or something in there mixed in. If you know what the flowers look like, you could draw the flowers in there. You know, whatever else you want to do. So you can change it up however you want. So this is something that you might run into anytime you put square pegs into, or excuse me, round pegs into square holes, kind of a thing. If you can kind of see on the left side of the circle I'm drawing right now, there's a little bit of a gap there. It's because I didn't work my way around in order. So what I mean is I didn't start and then fill everything around. I kind of worked my way up the side and sort of started working in one section and then worked my way up and all of that. So now I have this gap in there. If that happens to you, you can do several things. You can fill it in with something else. You can color in the background completely. You can draw a really teeny tiny cucumber slice, or some little seeds. You can fill it in with whatever you want to fill it in with, or you can just leave it blank. It doesn't matter what you do with it. I'm going to go back at the end because I'm sure that I'm going to have, now that I have at least one gap in there, I'm going to make sure that I have at least a couple more. So I'm going to kind of do it on purpose now that I did it on accident the first time, so that I can just kind of fill it in with something else so it doesn't look like a mistake. You can decide what you want to do, but that's what I'm going to do at the end. Alright, so now that I have it all completely filled in, I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in these sections. I'm just going to do some little ladybugs. You can find out what actual bugs like cucumbers, and you could draw those bugs. I'm just going to draw some ladybugs for the sake of saving some time here. I'm not going to color them in, I'm just going to do their little heads and the little spots and their wings and stuff. So it's just a very simple little circle with the kind of the ladybug details on top. Again, you can fill that in with whatever you want or not fill it in at all, it's up to you. Alright, so I think that looks kind of cute. Makes me want to eat a hamburger. So anyway, we're going to move on to the second one. And I'm going to draw another box or circle, whatever shape you want to draw. Again, they don't have to be this big. Like I say every week, they don't have to be this large. I just do it big like this for the sake of the video so you can see it a little better. And this one is going to be some bumblebees. So I know that bumblebees don't actually make honey, but they are busy right now. I mean, they don't make the honey that we eat. So I'm just going to kind of draw an odd long, it's going to have like a tear shape, and then it has these little black sections. So again, you can draw your bees however you want, but it does have a little spike for its stinger. And then I'm going to go back and color them in. As I start making more of them, the process of how I draw them might be a little bit different. It might go a little quicker, but the actual shape will still be the same. So I know it's a little bit hard to see in the video, but I'm just going to draw different size bees in different directions, kind of all over this entire top section, kind of like a big swarm. Alright, so now that I have that top section done, I'm going to go back and I'm going to draw some flowers. I think I'm just going to draw some kind of like right in the middle here. Again, this part is completely optional. You can just fill the entire section with bees. You can alternate or start with the daisies or whatever flowers you want to draw, and then fill little bees in around it and make the focus more of the daisies. It's entirely up to you. You can do them in sections or rows, so you could have the bees at the top and then some daisies going across the middle and then some more bees at the bottom, whatever it is that you want. Alright, so I think those look pretty cute. So I'm going to fill in just this middle section here with the rest of my bees. Kind of and these empty spots, I guess, so I don't have quite so many. Again, yours might look completely different than mine. That's totally fine. So I did actually notice that I forgot to put my stems on. You don't have to put stems on, but I kind of like how it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'll fill my bees in the rest of the spots. Something like that I think is good. So I think right here I'm actually going to draw a really big bee. And she's going to be my queen. It's a little bit too big. I'm going to have to kind of squish her wings in there, but I think I just want to put a cute little funny bee here at the top. And she's going to have her little crown on here. Again, this is completely optional. You don't have to do any of this stuff. It's just kind of a silly way to do it. So whatever you want to do. Alright, so I'm going to turn my paper just because this is kind of where I have my big section of space left here. I'm just going to do a border. Again, at the farmer's market, there was lots of pickles and lots of beets and stuff, but there was also lots of sunflowers. So we're going to just do a sunflower border. So you can be as precise as you'd like with this. This first one here, I'm going to kind of do a little bit better leaves on it, and then I'm going to show you the next one. I think I'm going to do it a little bit more rough drawn, because some people always say, I can't draw petals, I can't do that. So I'm going to draw one that's a little bit more rough drawn to show you that even if you don't think you can draw petals like this, you still can draw something that looks like a sunflower. So I'm going to go around this first time here, space my petals out, and then I'm going to do another row here behind that. That kind of sticks out in between all the leaves that were there. You can have your sunflowers be as accurate or as large as you'd like. You can make them really long. The petals on the sunflower actually are not that long, so if you want to make a really large sunflower, you're going to want to add a few more rows to it. It might end up looking like a mum, so I do warn you not to put too many rows on, or practice on another page and kind of see if you like it before you put it on your actual design. Alright, so the center of the sunflowers are actually really dark, like a really dark brown color. I don't want to color mine in solid, because I think that would look just a little bit too stark against the petals that I have here. So I'm going to draw these little, they're very close together, straight lines that go across the entire circle center. Again, the closer the lines are together, the darker the section will look. So I do want them to be pretty close together. They're not touching though. And now I'm going to draw the exact same, and repeat the exact same process with the lines going in a perpendicular direction. So they're going to go, basically it's called cross-hatching. So you're basically going to make like a really teeny tiny checkerboard pattern without filling in any of the squares. It's okay if some of them get a little wonky or they get a little close. Just keep going. Alright, so now I'm going to do another one just for the fun of it. You can just do one large one, or you can do a whole section. You can do a whole border, a whole side, a whole section. So this one here, I'm going to do a little bit more of a rough drawn petal. So you can see that if maybe you're not quite confident about making that shape in the first one, it's kind of this like, I don't know, bulbous triangle is kind of what it looks like, where it goes up one side and kind of bulbs out the other side. But again, you can make it however you want. So on this one, I'm actually going to draw a third row, just to show you that you can make it a little bigger, because the center on this one's a little bit smaller than the first one. And again, I'm just doing the rough petals. I'm not doing anything very particular. So you can decide how it is that you want. If you want it to be looking a little bit more sketchy, like I'm drawing this one, that's totally fine. Or if you want to be particular and precise, you certainly can do that as well. Or you can just draw whatever flower comes to mind. If you don't like sunflowers, that's fine too. This flower does go behind the other flower. I don't want them to be cut off, so it looks like it goes behind. And now I'm going to do that same cross hatching on this one. Alright, so that one, the last one was very roughly drawn. Now I'm going to go back and I'm just going to add some very big leaves. So the leaves on a sunflower are pretty large. Again, you can make them accurate. I'm just making some leaf shapes. You can make them accurately what they look like. It's up to you, which if you want to take the time to do that. I'm just going to have leaves coming out in different directions, kind of like a little background. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm putting them. I'm just kind of filling the space so it doesn't all look like it's on one side. Alright, I'm actually going to stop here because you get the idea. You can mix and match flowers and do whatever shapes and sizes you'd like. I do hope you like the Farmers Market inspired Zentangles today, and we will be back again next week Thursday and every other Thursday with another Zen Doodle video. Some very exciting news. Zentangle Untangled is now going to be a live class happening again every Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. Space is limited so that we can maintain social distancing, and all safety procedures will be adhered to. Masks are also required to enter the class. Please call the circulation desk today to register and reserve your spot. Don't worry though if you don't feel comfortable coming to the class. We still will be doing the virtual classes online on Facebook and the YouTube channel every Thursday around 6 o'clock. Can't wait to see you all.